All right, so if you're on a roller or laying on your back, I'd like you to come off the roller and come up to a seated position now. I wanted to go over a couple of arm exercises to begin our class today. These don't actually come from Pilates. I learned them from Coraline, which is a system like Pilates that you can do on equipment, and specific equipment was designed for this. Jonathan Hoffman was an Israeli Pilates teacher and physical therapist, and he wanted to come up with a piece of equipment that would give people the option to do a lot more asymmetrical work on it with the support of a ladder at one end so you could hold on to it. So you can either sit comfortably cross-legged or on your knees, or you can come standing for this. I'm going to start kneeling, I think. But what we're going to do here is you take one hand in front of your chest and kind of curve the hand around the front of your body. The other arm is long at your side. And we begin by taking the arm out and then reach for the wall and then wrap the arm behind you as if there's a ball on your back and you're trying to wrap your arm back and around it without doing any rotation. So the chest is still pointing forward, the sternum with the light beam going straight ahead. Then you cup the palm and you circle the arm around. You can bend the elbow and bring the hand in, sort of lay it right under the opposite chest. And then you circle it out again and you reach it back. So the wrist goes into extension, the palm spreads, the fingers are wide, and then cup the palm, soften at the wrist, bend the elbow, and bring the arm around again here. Let's do 2 more of these. So you reach out and then reach back. You should feel that pull in your pec and across the shoulder, and then curve it forward, embrace. It's almost like you're holding a baby here in front of your chest. And one more. The arm sweeps wide out and behind you. You might feel your obliques work to prevent you from rotating with the arm. And then you circle the arm around and back. And then take it down and just say, maybe you feel that that shoulder has dropped. If you took both arms forward, the arm that you just worked should seem a little longer than the other one, showing that the muscles have lengthened and mainly that the shoulder has dropped down. I'm going to move a little to the side here. And we do the other side. So you start again, the opposite hand here, right at your chest. You swing it out wide, bring it back, sweep it back, the wrist in extension, the fingers are pointing back towards your tailbone. And then you cup the palm, bring the arm around, and the hand comes in front of your torso again. And we circle it out and back. Try to resist the temptation to follow it with your gaze with your chest and circle it around and in here. And let's do 2 more. My understanding is that this series came from physical therapy originally, but I'm using it a lot with my clients now because everyone is so tight in their chest from being on the computer and not doing maybe their normal range of activity these days. And then lower the arm down and see both shoulders should have dropped. You might be able to see yourself in the screen as you look here. So that's the first one. In the second one, this is funny. This one is called Show Me the Money. And you start again with the hands here and you take the arm out, the palm is forward, you reach for the wall, and then you're going to turn the palm up and bring the arm behind you as if you're getting a little handoff behind you, a stack of bills in your hand, palm is up. And then you bring the arm out and around, the palm goes forward, and then you bring the palm up as you bring the hand under your chest. So the movement goes out to the side, the thumb goes down, the palm is back, and then the palm is up. You can even cup the hand a little bit, maybe like you're holding a pile of coins in your hand behind you. And then you take the arm out and back here. I'm just going to turn around so you can see it from behind also. So it goes out to the side and then I bring it down and I scoop it in. The torso still stays parallel to the wall in front of you, and then you bring it around and all the way back, ending up with it here by your side. Let's do that one more time. So reaching it back and around, the arm is low, that helps pull the shoulder down away from the neck and the head. And bring it as far across your body as you can, and then you bring it around again, scoop it forward, and again, hold that imaginary baby here in your arms. And we'll do the other side. So I've got a tower at the end of my machine. So we take it out, back and around, palm up, get the payoff, and then we take it around again and forward here hands under the chest. Reaching it out and back, circling it back behind you. Try not to rotate that you'll want to go back with the hand, and then bring it forward and around again. Hopefully this feels really good in the shoulder joint, and you feel that tug and pull in your chest. You'll also feel the scapula, the shoulder blade, working towards the spine as the arm goes back, and then releasing away from the spine as the arm comes forward and around to the front of your body. And then the last one is called telephone. It's based on the old-fashioned phones that we used to have with the big heavy receivers. So you start with the hand cupped like usual. You bring the arm out, the palm is to the floor, the palm goes to the wall, fingers up the wall, lift the arm, and now you're gonna bring the hand down so the fingers point down your neck, and you cup your ear with the heel of your hand. And then you lift the heel of the hand up, circle the arm out to the ceiling and down and around. I'm gonna try sitting back so you can see what happens to my arm here. So it goes out and around, it lifts, it comes around, you fold it in here by your ear. Try not to lean your head away or towards that hand. Bring the heel of the hand up, and then you circle around, and the hand again comes by the opposite chest. So 2 more, circling around, bending at the wrist, bending at the elbow, and then bring the heel of the hand up to the ceiling, point the fingers to the sky, and then circle the arm around. Let's do 1 more of these. And there should be a nice flow in the movement as you work here. You may feel that you're stretching some muscles in your arm and your shoulder that you don't normally get to. Let's go over, and we do the other side. So again, telephone, out, lift, fingers point down, you bring the hands right to your ear, and then you lift the heel of the hand up, fingers point to the ceiling, and then circle the arms around and back in at your side. And let's do that again. There's lots of different ways to work through the chain of the arm, and we want to explore a lot of them so that the arm is mobile and free, strong and flexible in many different ranges of motion. And then last one, down and around. Good. And you might notice that your shoulders feel much more relaxed, that they've probably dropped, and your neck might feel free and your head like it's floating up into the sky above you. Really good. That was great. So let's take it now into the regular Pilates routine. So we'll have a seat, and we're going to roll back right into our hundreds position. So knees bent, chest lifted, head floats up, heels are grounded, and we'll look down at the belly as we curl the tail up and imprint the low back down. Let your hands slide along your legs or forward and up if you want less connection. Come to your upper up curl, and then we can pull the legs in. You can start with a tabletop leg, shins parallel to the ceiling, legs zipper together, and then release the arms forward. Start pumping the arms. Inhaling, 5 beats. Exhale, 5 more. So we're trying to not fall back onto our upper shoulders. Ideally, the neck should be sort of parallel to the wall, and you're reaching up through your head as you tip your chin down and look at your belly. Now you can change the leg position. You can take the knees out further to increase the load onto the low abs, just as long as you don't feel it in your back. Or alternatively, you can lift the legs up, stretch them here, and then start to reach them out that way. Whatever works for you, that you feel you're working maximally in the upper abs to hold the body in that upper ab curl, and in the low abs to support against the weight of your legs is what we want to do. You can always take one hand behind your head to keep the neck up. You can always even lay your head down, but then you would need to pull the knees in closer to your body. Let's go for one last breath here. Actively pumping the whole time. And then we can fold the knees in, lay your head down, and stretch the legs out on the ground behind you. For your roll up, the arms go back, the shoulders stay grounded. We can start to bring the arms forward. Easier to take your hands to your thighs, even bend the elbows, round your body forward, diving over here and hang low over your legs. Get that stretch. If you have a TheraBand, you're welcome to take it around your feet, and then you would pull back with your arms connected to the band to bring yourself back to the floor, and then you go all the way down on your mat. And then when you lift, you would come up and you would pull the elbows wide to pull yourself up using the band and dive over and down. And if you don't have the band, if you're not using it today, the arms would just reach forward, and as you roll back, the arms go to a level that gives you some challenge, right? So you control your descent. If the arms are too high, you fall, you don't work down. And then once you're down, we lift again. Coming up, exhale to pick up the ribs. And then you keep the exhale going all the way forward. Pull the head forward, the shoulders melt down your back behind you. You don't want your shoulders to come up like earrings on your ears. And then we roll it back again. Take your time working through this. We're trying to feel every vertebra one by one, sink into the ground with control. And then you can stretch the arms back as long as you don't arch the spine. Additionally, you just keep the natural arch in your low back. You bring the arms forward, drop the shoulders down, lift up, exhale, pull up with the head. You're being pulled forward by your halo and you dive over, take a bow. And then we'll start to roll back here again. One more time to the ground, take your time. Hands go as low as you need to for control, as high as you want to for more work. And now we circle the arms at your side. And we'll begin by pulling the right knee into your chest. We'll just do a little warm up for the single leg circles. And then stir that legs in one direction and then in the other. Pull the right knee to the right armpit, pull the left hip down. And then bring the knee back to center and then take the left hand, pull the right knee to the left armpit, reach out long through your right glute and sits bone here. Back to center, pull the knee in. And then just lift the leg up and give it a little bit of a stretch here for the hamstring. And then we'll lower that leg down. Just that little bit of work, you should feel much more relaxed and flatter on the right side of your body. And let's do the left here. So we pull the left leg in. First, pull it tight and you reach out through the left glute. The right leg stretches along the floor and sinks into the mat. And then we release the leg a little bit and we stir it, easy. So you think you're just circling the leg on the socket, reverse the direction. We're going to oil up the hip for what's to come. And then we'll pull it in again, tight to the body, heel tight to the thigh, and then pull the leg to the outside, right hand or right hip, keep it down. You might feel that inner thigh stretch and across the front of the pelvis here. And then we're going to switch hands. The right hand pulls the left knee up and in towards the right armpit. So find that length in your waist and your hip. And then pull the leg back to center and just stretch it up. The knee would be bent if your hamstrings are tight. So that's fine too. And you can pull it back even with a bent knee and still feel the belly of the muscle stretch. That's where you can increase your flexibility. So let's stretch the leg and then bend it and slide it forward. And let's start our circles with the right leg. So we pull the right leg in and lift it up. If you want to use the TheraBand around the foot, you could. I'm not going to do that today. And we circle the leg over the body, keep the right hip down, reach the leg low and long out to the side and external rotation, bring it up to the center and reach again. So you're drawing a big circle in the air, only however as large a circle as you can hold your hips grounded and steady on the floor. So the arms are reaching down and pressing into the ground to help you anchor your upper body. And we do this again last time. Come to the top, we pause and now reverse. The leg externally rotates. You reach to the foot, you sweep it across low, you bring it over and lift it up. With the breath, it's a short inhale and then a long, slow exhale so you feel the low abdominal muscles engage. You're going to reach here and then the longer exhale relaxes your nervous system, but also engages the low abdominals. Let's do 2 more. Keep pushing the air aside as you move through it. A nice steady body on the mat. And last one, to bring it up to the ceiling. Give it a little tug, a little pull up, and then fold that knee in. And we'll switch the legs. So the right one goes forward, the left knee pulls in, put the band on that foot, and we can lift the leg up here. And we begin the circles again. So you reach across the body first, inhale, exhale all the way around and lift it up. And again. Go low with the leg and then out and up to the ceiling. Feel as if you're moving through water instead of through air, so that you push to the side and create ripples in the atmosphere as you go. One more circle. Feel that length in the leg. Keep reaching it further and further away from the hip. We come to the top and reverse. Away from center, the opposite side is grounded. Sweep it over, lift it up. And you reach here again. Letting the leg flow with your breath. Short inhale, long exhale. And we'll do one last one here. Come to the top and then fold the leg in. And then we're rolling forward and up for rolling like a ball. So you might want to hold your left leg in, pull the right leg in and lift it up. And then chin to your chest, rock forward and up to your balance. Sit near the front third of your mat. And take your hands to your shins. Ease your hands to your thighs, elbows wide. Sink your waist into the curve of your back. And we roll. Inhale to lift the tail and roll back to the shoulder blades, and exhale to come forward to your balance point. And again, rolling back. Now, if my hands are to my thighs, it's easier because I can kick my legs forward and come all the way up. So I could come up here, and if I felt like I wasn't getting there, I could just extend the legs, and that would bring me up. Otherwise, hands to your shins. You want to push the hands back and the legs forward, so you feel very connected in your arms and in your core. The body is as round as can be. As you roll, the head and neck never touch the floor. And one last one. Coming up, and then we transition right into the ab series. So right hand to your right ankle, left hand on the right shin below the knee. As you start to roll back with your spine, you extend the left leg out and up at whatever angle works for you. The right shin is parallel to the ground. And we lift a little deeper into the curve. Use the arms, use your abs. Inhale, and you switch the legs. They go straight in and out like pistons. And one pulls in tight and you pull up into it. And then you try to hold the body in that position as you switch your legs and shoot one away from you and the other one in tight. We're doing an inhale for one leg to move and an exhale for the other one. Let's end with the left leg in and pull the right leg in to meet it. One hand to each shin, and we're going to continue. Rest your head if you ever need to. Arms and legs reach up to the ceiling. You circle the arms wide as you fold the legs in, embrace your shins in. And you reach again and exhale, circle. As you get stronger, the arms and legs go lower, further out and away from each other, and then you embrace. But you never want to fall back as the arms go back. That was bad. I was trying to demo the wrong thing. And you want to stay up and feel the weight of the limbs moving away from you. Challenge your ability to stabilize your spine. So we always use in Pilates the weight of the limbs to work into our core. Let's do one last one. And circle, and then rest your head down. Lower your feet, arms open at the side, and rock your knees from side to side. We'll take a little stretch here. So you turn your head away from your knees in order to release your neck, which is sort of necessary when you're learning Pilates because you want to start building strength into those abs and your neck muscles. It happens a little bit at a time. And then we're coming back and we'll pull the right leg in and lift the foot up to the ceiling. And as you come up, you can lift up here and let's just stretch the leg out, the other leg long. Good, and then roll your spine back. Come to your upper up curl, and we're gonna keep that with the arm up as high as the foot as you can. And we switch the legs. One goes down, one goes up. And again, if your hamstrings are tight, you bend the knee as the leg comes in, and you would just straighten it as it goes out. So it's okay to do that. Just try to bring your hands up as high on the foot or ankle as you can reach for. Otherwise, you straighten the legs as you work and try not to fall back onto the mat. Your gaze is fixed right down your midline towards your navel. We're going to end with the left leg up. And then bring the right leg up to meet it. Bring your hands to support the back of your head. Pull the skull up, drop the elbows down, and both legs reach away a little bit at a time, and then exhale and they rise. Remember here, you have to be very careful of your back. So you only go back so you feel your abs really engaged and not so that you feel your back arch or your back get nervous. There is a little arch in the back anyway laying here that disappears slightly when you come to your upper ab curl. So think of pushing your waistline down as the legs reach away and keep pulling the belly in for control as you bring the legs up. We'll do one more like this. Smoothly out, draw an arc through the air. It could be really small or it could be bigger depending on your strength that day. And then we twist to the right, pull the right knee in and lift the chest up, armpit to inner knee. Switch, pull, and stretch the leg away from your torso. The opposite hip stays down. As you come up and lift the body coming in towards the knee, you feel that diagonal stretch and work in the abdominals. We're really working your obliques right now. So rocking from side to side without tipping the pelvis. And we're going to end pulling the left knee in and pulling the right armpit there. Pull yourself back to center and then lay down and lower the legs. Good. I'm going to slide back a little bit. And then we can come up, roll up here, dive forward, open the legs, and take a little stretch. So bring your hands to your feet, drop your head, flex at the ankles if possible, and bend your knees if necessary. If your hamstrings are really tight, elevate yourself up on a yoga block or some books, or just bend your knees enough so you can sit vertical. We're going to start with the arms forward, pressing them down to lift the chest. Look down, and then we dive forward. Head leads the way, head, then neck, then shoulders, then ribs, then waist, and then hip flexion, diving over. Feel that stretch in your body. Again, bend your knees if you need to. Go as low as possible and feel the stretch in the back of your thighs. Also, you're breathing into your low back here. And then we press through the legs and we articulate up. Let the back muscles pick you up from the bottom to the top. You bring your gaze to the horizon and let the shoulders fall. And then we go down again. Exhale all the way down. Think of the chest pretty wide so that the blades slip behind you. They dive down your back as you slide forward. And then as you press through your heels and your sits bones, you inhale all the way up and feel that your chest is floating up between your arms and your head is floating into the sky above you. And looking down, exhaling all the way over. We suction the belly back into the curve of the spine to round it where you need it. It's less hip flexion and more rounding of the back as if you're coming over a beach ball and pulling it into your core. And then we articulate up again. The gaze goes up the wall to the horizon. The shoulders fall. And last time, looking down, exhaling all the way out, over and down. Stay here, breathe into your back, pull your waist back, pull the heels forward if you can, straighten the legs if possible. Otherwise, of course, knees bent is an option. And then we're going to slide the heels in and move the hips forward for open leg balance. So we're rock back on our sacrum, balance here, feet in the air, heels together, knees apart in a frog. And then you can hold onto your thighs easier as you take the right leg up to the ceiling. You hold your balance point and then you bring the heels down, connect them, and then the left leg goes up and you pull it back. You may or may not get the knees straight. It'll happen eventually. Right leg up and down, and then the left, reach it into the sky and then pull it back down. More difficult, hands to the inside of the ankle, and then you keep your shoulders down as you lift one foot and pull it back in, and then the left shoulder stays down as you lift the left leg up. Bring it down, connect your heels, and both legs together, rise. And then pull in. We'll do one more like that. Extend the legs, hold the balance point, come back in, and then take the legs up and hold your point here. We're rolling. You would take your hands more to the outside of the calf, so reach as high on the leg as you can, straight legs, straight arms, and we rock. Lift the tail to go back. Exhale, come forward and where you started on your sacrum. And we roll back again. Try to roll in a straight line on your mat. Picture like that yellow line drawn down the middle of the road and roll right on it, back and forward. Your gaze stays down. If you look up, you won't be able to come up to your balance point and keep the curve in your spine. Let's do one more like this. Hold that balance, close the legs, bend the knees slightly if you need to, lift the arms up. And there's your teaser pose, which we'll hit later in the series. Bend your knees, hands to your legs, and we roll back for corkscrew. All right, we're going to fold the legs in, lift the feet up to the ceiling. Option to take a TheraBand around your feet, but you don't have to. You can just lift the legs. If your back line is tight, bend the knees here. And we circle the legs to the right. It's a small circle the size of a basketball, and you circle all the way around to the left, complete the circle, and then reverse. Short inhale, long exhale. The movement is slow because you're trying to feel that you can keep your pelvis grounded and just shift your weight around your sacrum as you circle the legs. Each one, you reverse the direction after you complete the last one. Imagine that you're drawing a circle on the ceiling with the feet here, and then try to go through the ceiling because the legs are lengthening continuously up and away from your hips. We'll do one more. From right to left, complete the circle, and then you end going from left to right. And then we'll bend the knees in and roll forward and up, right into position for saw. So you sit upright, legs are open, feet flexed. Again, another chance to elevate your hips here if you need that for more mobility in your spine. And also it makes your back safer too, because when you're bending forward, you don't want to feel too much strain in the low back. So press the arms down, reach the hands slightly in front of your collarbones, look ahead. And we rotate to the right, bring the left hand, the outside of the hand to the outside of the right leg somewhere. The right arm reaches behind you, palm to the ceiling, and you stretch the fingers in opposite directions. And then we lift to come up, hold the twist, unwind, sweep to the other side, bring the hand out along the leg, stretch here, opposite hip stays down, don't let it lift. And then coming upright, center, circle, and go to the other side and dive over. Think of having the arms pulled in opposite directions. And then you lift to come up, unwind your body and rotate to the left. The right arm crosses over, it can slide forward. Try to bring your ear down by your knee and pull your left shoulder up and back behind you. Lift to come up, center, we'll do one more set. So you twist, you dive, you stretch. The belly is still pulled up and in towards your back as you rotate your spine. And we lift to come up. And as you twist, remember that as you rotate, the neck, the cervical spine is also rotating. So you're bringing your gaze up and back behind you, looking for the hand that's crossed behind your body. Pull yourself upright, center here, and let the arms come together. Pull the legs together. And we're going to flip over onto the stomachs for swan. So here, you float your head off the ground, your head in line with your spine. Legs apart slightly, maybe to hip width is easier for most people's low backs. Legs together is traditional. So we're going to pull the elbows back to start to feel the lengthening of the front of the body forward. You lift up into a little bit of a cobra, and then you bring yourself down again. Float the gaze over the ground, look down and slightly forward with your eyes. You push the mat back to pull your chest forward, then coming over and lifting your body like one of those carved figurines on the front of an old sailing ship, and you pull yourself down, flattening your body out, I guess to surf the waves. And we're going to pull the elbows back and pull the shoulder blades together and lift up. And down you go slowly again. From here, push into your arms, sit back in a child's pose, round your back, stretch it out. And we come forward into single leg kick. So here you punch the fists into the ground. The arms are chest width apart, a little bit wider maybe. And you push the arms down and back to engage the triceps and pull the belly forward, stretch it, and look up. You kick the right heel in. 1, 2, and down. Once it's down the left, 1, 2, and down, then the right. Double beat each time. We're working to keep the hips grounded and steady on the mat. You can press the hip down, the pubic bone down, but think of stretching the belly forward and up with your eyes, with your chest, with the lift through the front of your body, so that you're in an upper back extension here while you do this. We're ending with the left, and then we lay the body down, turn your head to the right, overlap your hands high on the back, and we do 3 kicks here. You inhale first to prepare. As you exhale, both legs come in and you kick 1, 2, 3, each time closer to the glutes. Stretch the legs into the floor, reach the arms back. If you can, intertwine the thumbs and lift the chest. Arms are level. Taking it down, turn your head to the left. 3 beats, 1, 2, 3. Legs go down, reach the arms back. If they won't connect, just let the arms float back and low behind you. And down you go, turning your gaze to the right. 3 pulses again. Once the legs are down, you reach long, try to bring your fingers back by your feet. Keep stretching the legs away from your chest. And down you go to look left and pulse. 2, 3. We're going to end after this one. You come up to end, circle the arms forward, push the ground away, and sit back in your child's pose. Stack and come up, and we'll turn around. So from here, let's go back and lay on your back for shoulder bridge. So you roll yourself down with control, use your abs to block the fall. And you bend your knees, bring your heels in closer to your tail and your sits bones, feet apart at the width of your hips. Arms are long here. We begin rocking the pelvis. You press the waist down, the tail starts to curve off the ground. You push the mat down with your feet and your arms, and you lift the tail a little bit at a time, picking up the spine inch by inch. Come to the top, push the top of the shoulders down, roll to the outer arms, and lift your heart a little higher. The blades pull together underneath you. And then we're going to roll to the inner arm. The blades move sideways. You roll your upper spine down, through the shoulder blades, down through the rib cage, down to the waist, down to the sacrum, finally down to the tail, and the waist floats off the ground. And we do this again. So we begin by lifting the tail forward and up. You'll start to feel the low abs contract as the back stretches. Push down through your legs, and as you come up, let your knees slide forward out over your toes. You lift the spine 1 inch at a time as you snake off the ground here. Your gaze is up, and you press the shoulders down to pull the blades together underneath your body. And then we're going to roll down, let the shoulders curl up a little bit as you roll to the inner arm. Try to really take your time and imprint the spine from the top down, one vertebra after the next. And only at the very end do you let the belly elongate and let the tail sink towards the ground. We're going to do that one more time. Rocking the pelvis to start the movement. We're starting with the lowest point of the spine and working up to the highest point you can go at without standing on your neck, but really stand across your shoulder girdle here, your scapula, your shoulder blades. And then we roll to the inner arm. And down we go again. Try to feel that stretch. You're moving your tail forward and out between your heels at the end. That way you decompress the spine as you work it. Good. And we're coming up. You can pull one leg in, the other leg lifts, and rock forward and up, looking down at your midline. Come upright for spine twist. We sit vertically here. Bend your knees as necessary again, or elevate your hips, and the arms reach out to the side. And we rotate to the right, and we pulse 1, 2, 3, a lift to center, and then to the left. Now, it's really common for people to just throw the arms like this to bring their body around, and you don't want to feel that. Instead, for an option, take your hands on top of your head, push your head up into your hands, and now really work your core. Use your oblique abdominals to twist you to one side, back to center, and then to the other side. See if you can feel that it's not your elbows pulling you around, it's your abs pulling you around. And then once you have that, extend the arms and then work again from the center of your body instead of from your fingertips. The arms are just carried here by the movement, the rotation of your body. And then we can lower the arms down and we'll lay on our back for jackknife. So this is an inversion. It's helpful if you're not used to doing these to take a roller under your hips. You can try this. It's not recommended for people with neck issues, but if you want, what we'll do is we pull the knees into our body. You lift the legs up and then take them a little bit away so you have a little bit of a running start. And you're going to push through your arms, lift the legs up, and then bring them high toward the ceiling. Your tail is lifted too. Your gaze is up and back where your toes are. And then as you come down, try to delay going down and work your body down very gradually, a little bit at a time, into the ground. And then you stretch your legs out to a level where you feel in your abs, but your back is still safe. And then we lift again. You start with an inhale and then exhale to push up and rise here. And then squeeze the legs together. Try to keep energy up through your feet as you stretch your back, as you roll it down. Keep pushing your arms down and away to maintain control through your core. You stretch the legs out and we lift again. Exhale, go up and then bring it down inch by inch. Good. And then we fold the knees in and we're going to turn onto our sides to do the clam series here. Last class we worked on the full side kick series. We're going to do a little variation today. So the first thing is you're propped up on your elbow, your hand supports right by the ear, that part of the skull. If that's too much for your neck, it's also acceptable to lay the head down and maybe take a pad or a towel or something between your ear and your arm to make your neck feel more comfortable. Otherwise, we're sticking the tail out a little bit behind us, and there's a deep crease at the hip right here. The feet are in line with the tailbone. So we're going to find the point of rotation for the leg. So if you find the crease here between leg and pelvis, go about 2.5 to 3 inches from the center of the pubic bone and point your finger right into the crease. If you went in a couple of inches, that's where the hip socket would be, and we're going to rotate the leg up from there. And then exhale and bring it back down. This is to avoid bringing the knee up by rocking the top hip back, because we want to keep the hips stacked, and we also want to work from the joint. So your hips can stay steady as you lift the leg and rotate it down. It's a little external as you lift it, and a little internal rotation as you bring it down in. The edges of the feet stay together, just the angle changes. It's like a clam shell opening and closing, obviously. And then here, the next variation, you pick up the knee, you straighten the leg, you extend it, you bend the knee, and the edges of the feet go back together, and then you close it down. So once you pick up the knee, try to think the thigh stays exactly where it is and just stretch the knee long, extend the leg, fold it back in. It should go right back where it was, where you started, and then lower down again. And remember, because we're working from the socket, there's no rolling back. So you're not allowing your body to fall backwards off the sideline as you do this. We'll do one more. Extend, reach, fold it here, and then close the thighs together. And then the next one, we call it fire hydrant, because you're picking the whole leg up, sort of like a male poodle, at a fire hydrant. You get the idea. So you lift and then bring it back down. Lifting it up and then lowering it down. When you really work from the right place, you feel this very strongly in your outer hip and your glute medius in particular. Let's do one more. It's an important muscle to strengthen because it's the one we need for standing on one leg. And let's lay on your stomach here for just a sec. And we'll overlap the hands under the forehead. Look down and in. And we're just going to rotate the legs externally, heels in, toes out, and then pick up your right leg, keep the hip down, and then lower the leg down, and then pick up the left leg, keep the hip bone crest into the ground, and then lower that. The right leg lifts, and then it lowers, and then the left leg lifts, and it lowers. One more set. Right first, and down, and then left, and down, and then sit back in a child's pose. Curve your back, stretch it out. And then we're switching sides to do the other side here. So laying on out, prop yourself up on your elbow or lay your head down on your arm. And we bend the knees. The knees come forward. The heels go back in line with the sits bones. Try to think of lifting your tail out behind you a little bit. And again, you can find the crease between pelvis and leg. Dig into it and then point the finger in about 2.5 inches from the pubic symphysis. And we're going to rotate the leg up from there and then exhale and rotate it down. So the leg spirals up and then it closes. We lift the leg here and bring it down. Rotate the leg on the socket, open the clamshell, and then close it as you exhale. And one more like this. And down, and now we're continuing with the leg extension. Pick up the knee, stretch the leg out. Bend the knee, edges of the feet together, and then close it on down. And you should be able to look ahead, right, while you do this, because you know where your body is in space. One of the reasons we do this is that it increases proprioception, so you know exactly where you are, any point of your body at any time in your movement. And just doing this kind of work will build that skill automatically for you. One more like that. Fold the leg and then close the knees down, and then fire hydrant. You bring the whole leg up as a unit and down, and we lift and then lower. It goes high and then it pulls close. 2 more here. And the last one. Good. And then one more child's pose. Round your back, curve it, you get deep flexion. If knees are an issue, you would always lay on your back and just pull your knees into your chest. And then come up and we extend the legs forward to balance for teaser. So take your hands to the back of your thighs, sit upright. And then we are going to look down and curl the tail up, rock back onto your sacrum and let your feet float up to a balance point. Remember, most women will have their toes about even with their eyes. Most guys, the legs will be lower. And then from here, we're going to curve the tail up and roll the low back down. Let the legs slide away from you. So your body opens, and then you're going to close the legs in as you lift your chest up. If this is where you need to be, this is great. Even if you only move a fraction back and then pull yourself in with your hands behind your legs to help you support it, that's perfect. You want to just feel your back is getting a stretch and your abs are getting the work. However, if you want to continue, you would gradually go down, and then your heels would touch when the tip of your blades do, and then you lay yourself flat in a long line. And then to come up, you lift your head, you look down your midline, you start to scoop the legs up. You can keep them long or you can fold them in. And as you progress, the arms go out and it's arms free. So you would go down, you curl your body down. You want to be sure you have the timing right. If your head goes down before your feet, you'll get into your back. So you want to be sure your heels touch and then your shoulders and neck and head go down. We start upper ab curl, scoop the legs up, lifting here. Or do one of the earlier variations, and then down you go again, all the way to the ground. And then let's everyone lift, and we'll hold the position, whichever teaser you're in. It could be hands here. And now let's take the arms forward, and let's bring the legs to one side and the arms to the other, and then just swing the knees to one side and the hands to the other side. Look at your hands each time. It's like you're holding a ball between your arms and you're swinging it from one side to the other here. If you need to have your feet sliding along the floor, that would also work. Of course, harder with the legs in the air. Come back to center, hold the legs, and then we roll it down. And we'll flip over onto our stomachs now for a little swimming. So stretch the arms out, reach them long. Let's start pull the armpits back and lift your body up. You're in that upper back extension, just start kicking your legs from your glutes. And then you can try to lift one arm at a time, holding that higher upper back extension than you would if you let everything go. And you can let everything go and just kick the arms and legs in opposition here. That's your full swimming. You stretch everything out, bring the hands by your hips, another child's pose, round your back. Today, we're just going to end in a front plank. It can be on your elbows. It can be on your hands. So if you're on your forearms, you're down on your elbows. You can make fists and push them into the ground. And then you can slide one leg back, curl the toes under, the other leg back, be here. If you need to, the knees are down, right? Otherwise, the legs are straight and you're pushing down to the ground. Try to pull your head and your tail in opposite directions. If, however, you want it to be up on your hands, you spread the hands, you pull your shoulders forward over the wrist, the toes are curled forward, and the whole body makes one nice long line. Whichever version you chose, if you want to add difficulty to it, you pick up one leg and then lower it down, and then pick up the other leg and lower it down. Just keep pushing the ground away and pulling your body into length. Whenever you need to, you bend your knees, Find your child's pose again. Stretch out your back. And then you all are done for today. All right, thank you so much for doing class again. Try to look for it on Swarthmore's YouTube channel. I know Max sent you the link. And so you can practice when I can't see you. Anyway, thanks. You were great. I really appreciate you doing this with me today, and have a wonderful day. Bye.